Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Seeing as Halloween's not too far away, in this video, I thought I'd talk about me all-time top 10 movies, horror movies, which I like to watch mostly on Halloween. Obviously, being a huge horror fan, and many titles I could roll off here, but these ones I'm about to show you are my top 10 of the ones I watch mostly around Halloween time. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first one I'd like to show you is, appropriately enough, Halloween, the 1978 classic, directed by John Carpenter. I could sit here all afternoon spouting superlatives of how good this movie is. It's got atmosphere, horror in bucket loads, tension, great cinematography, really evokes the feeling of Halloween and that, and John Carpenter created an absolute legendary slasher figure in Michael Myers and that, and to top all that, I must say about the music as well, the score and that, really enhances the movie and that, the creepy music and that, one of the most iconic horror movie themes ever, Halloween, and this is a fantastic Blu-ray, this and that, got the slipcover as well and that, obviously I can imagine, like Halloween, this is in many horror fans' top 10 list of movies they most watch around Halloween. So there you go, that's the first one, the 1978 classic by John Carpenter, Halloween. The next one I'd like to show you is another classic horror movie, and that is The Wolfman from 1941, starring the late great Lon Chaney Jr. Again, just like the previous video showed you, movie showed you, Halloween, I could sit here all afternoon, uttering superlatives about how fantastic this universal classic is and that, Again, just like Halloween, it's got the horror atmosphere in bucket loads, and especially like the creepy forest setting and that, the fog-shrouded forest and that, and the manner, the horrific manner in which Larry Talbot becomes this lycanthropic beast and that, turns into a wolf man for the full moon and that. As well as Larry Talbot, Lon Chaney Jr., I love the supporting cast as well. I love his father, played by Claude Rains. I love his romantic interest, Evelyn Ankers and that, and I also love the little gypsy woman, Maliva, whose son Baylor was, as I've said like in previous videos, whose son Baylor was responsible for turning Talbot into this beast and that, or absolutely classic horror movie, The Wolfman. Just like Frankenstein, Boris Karloff's Frankenstein monster, Universal, I've got fond memories of first watching this as a kid on the old black and white telly, growing up in the late 60s and that, and this added to my horror movie adoration. The Wolfman, the best werewolf movie in my opinion that's ever been made, and nobody can play the Wolfman like Lon Chaney Jr. What stood out about him, he brought a deep sense of pathos to the role. I mean, he really hated being the Wolfman and that, but this is a fantastic movie, The Wolfman. Of course, he went on to play Larry Talbot in a couple more movies and that, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula. That was the movie I call The Happy Wolfman, where he got cured and that, and then sort of like the spoof Abbott and Costello with Frankenstein, getting back to this one, this 1941 classic, always love to put this on Halloween and that, it's got atmosphere and bucket loads, so there you go, that is Universal's classic movie from 1941, The Wolfman. The next one I'd like to show you is, moving on further on from the Universal 1940s movies and a new generation of horror by Hammer Movies, and that is Dracula. Made in 1958, absolutely classic, Christopher Lee's debut as the evil Count Dracula. What can I say about this movie, guys? It's an absolute classic movie. Christopher Lee, in my opinion, nobody can beat him when it comes to playing Count Dracula, and this is a fantastic release. It's got loads of extras there on it and that, and it was really great to see Count Dracula burst onto the screens and lurid technicolor with his fangs bared and the red in his eyes and that was what used to scare me when I was a little kid, when he sprouts his fangs, bare his fangs, and his eyes go all blood red and that, I couldn't watch him for years and that, until it was like grew into my teens and that, but getting back to this first Dracula, this is the best Dracula movie ever in my opinion. And of course, just like Lon Chaney Jr. with the Wolfman movies, Christopher Lee went on to make more Dracula movies. Now, they were all good as well, but this was the one that you know, that sort of like brought him to the top of his game in regards to playing, you know, his horror career, playing Count Dracula and that, you know, yeah, oh yeah. Got and Peter Cushing's fantastic as well as Van Helsing, you know, his adversary and that, you know, yeah, yeah. So there you go. That is Dracula, Hammer's original Dracula movie from 1958, starring the late great Christopher Lee. Fantastic Halloween watch. The next movie I'd like to show you is another Hammer classic, and that is The Case of Frankenstein. Made a year before the previous movie showed you, Dracula. This was Hammer's, you could say this is sort of like, this was the movie that launched Hammer into the world of horror film making, you know, really set the trend and that, you know, for their, you know, carved their reputation in the world of horror film making, yeah. The Case of Frankenstein, yeah. Peter Cushing's, oh God, he's really on the money in this movie playing Baron Frankenstein, yeah. Or the amount, the consummate skill, you know, he applied to the role of the Baron and that, you know, he really gave the character depth and that, you know, yeah. And again, just like the Dracula edition, this has got some fantastic special features on it, yeah. And yeah, the picture quality is very good in that, yeah. Oh yeah, this was the next, after the Boris Karloff Frankenstein movies, this is my next favourite, The Case of Frankenstein, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely love this movie, yeah. Another Hammer classic, yeah, guys, from 1957. That is The Case of Frankenstein. Next one up is anthology movie, Tales from the Crypt from 1972. I've lost count, guys, of the times I've watched this movie, and if you've been watching my other videos, you recall I've done a special video dedicated to this, yeah. Oh yeah, fantastic story in that, you know, yeah. The framing story and all the sort of like, you know, the little stories in between and that, you know, yeah. Love them all, especially the one with Peter Cushing where he plays poor old Arthur Grimsdyke and that, you know, very, very sad, yeah, yeah. And the one in the blind man's home where they do the corridor with the razor blades, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't want to go on too much about it in case you haven't seen it, but yeah, this is my all-time favourite horror anthology. I always put it on around Halloween time and that, you know, never get tired of it. That is Tales from the Crypt, Amicus classic from 1972. Next one up is great supernatural movie, guys, The Conjuring, based on a real true story in that, yeah. Very, very creepy movie, The Conjuring in that, you know, yeah. This is the best movie in my opinion in the whole Conjuring Annabelle franchise and that, you know, yeah. And again, it's got some great special features on here, including, you know, all about the actual case and that, the family, yeah. Very well made movie, The Conjuring, yeah. And the ideal movie to watch, like, you know, around Halloween time and that, you know, yeah. Oh yeah, the creepy farmhouse and all the things they encounter and that, you know, with the entity, yeah, yeah. Highly recommend The Conjuring for a great Halloween watch, yeah. There you go. Next one up is another classic, The Haunting, the original Haunting, yeah. Fantastic movie, yeah. Great cast here, yeah. Yeah, you've got Richard Johnson as the paranormal researcher who gets all these people together, these select people in this big old, excuse me, big old house in the country called Hill House, based on Shirley Jackson's classic novel, yeah, The Haunting of Hill House, yeah. Recently bought the, well, actually yesterday, just bought the remake with Catherine Zeta-Jones in. Well, that's a good film, but I do prefer this one, yeah, because this has got atmosphere in bucket loads. And the part where the two women are on the bed quaking in terror when they hear the door banging and that, you know, the noise outside the door and it's banging in and out. Oh yeah, that scared the pants. That scared the pants off me when I was a wee nipper, I tell you. Yeah, fantastic movie, yeah. It's got a couple of special features, guys, there, if you want to just freeze your cameras and take those in. Yeah, great movie, The Haunting, yeah. And a fine adaptation of Shirley Jackson's classic novel, yeah. Yeah, so there you go. That's The Haunting from 1963. Great Halloween watch. Next one up is, oh yeah, oh, what can I say about this one, guys? Absolute classic in horror cinema. Psycho, starring the late great Anthony Perkins, based on Robert Bloch's original 1959 novel Psycho. Norman Bates is an absolutely outstanding character in the world of horror. In the world of horror fiction, horror film making, yeah. And the atmosphere, the Bates Motel, Janet Leigh getting killed off, quite shockingly, early on in the film and that, you know, yeah. This is the uncut version, by the way, yeah. It's got quite a few special features on it, guys, yeah. Both versions of the movie, and I love this slipcase, yeah. Watched this movie many, many times, yeah. Great movie to watch over Halloween and that, you know. And the twist at the end, like when I first saw it, like, oh, it's just blew me away, yeah. Nobody can play Norman Bates like Anthony Perkins and that, you know, yeah. The way he starts off, like, you know, all sorts like hospitable, you know, taking Janet Leigh's character in out the rain and that, saying, oh, dirty night and all that, you know, he seems very genial at first, a very, very hospitable host, but we soon find out, like, that, you know, he's anything but, yeah, all fantastic, yeah, the perfect psychopathic killer character in any horror movie is Norman Bates. That is Psycho, yeah, and that is from 1960. There you go. Next one up is another classic movie, this time along the theme of devil Satanism, and that is The Omen from 1976. Yeah, another great movie, you know, bucket loads of atmosphere, tension and that, you know, and Damien, like, the sort of, you know, excuse me, Damien, the son of Satan, yeah, very, very sinister character and that, you know, yeah, and mustn't forget Mrs. Billy Whitelaw in the role of Mrs. Baylock, who was Damien's guardian and tries to protect him and that, you know, to make sure he rises to power in the world of politics, yeah. Oh yeah, some real shocking scenes, some very gruesome deaths in this movie. Gregory Peck's character and Lee Remick as well, yeah, both really on the money in this movie. Classic movie, The Omen, yeah. This is my favourite movie of all the few Omen movies that were made. Don't care too much for the remake, but this, guys, is the best one, The Omen from 1976. Great movie, again, fantastic movie to watch on Halloween. Last but by no means least is the movie that got me into, as I said many times in my previous videos, the movie that made me a horror fan, and that is Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, 1931. Now, this has actually got all the other Frankenstein movies on as well, but I'm referring to the first movie what Boris Karloff made, his debut as the Frankenstein monster. Oh yeah, fantastic movie. And love The Bride of Frankenstein as well, the sequel, and that best sequel ever in my opinion, yeah. Oh yeah, Boris Karloff, he brought, like Lon Chaney Jr. did with The Wolfman, he brought a great sense of pathos to the role and that, you know, yeah. You know, he sort of like balanced the monstrosity aspect of Frankenstein's creation with the more human side, you know. I mean, he didn't really want to be creative, and he sort of like, when he sort of like gesturing with his hands and that, you know, Boris Karloff really delivers an emotive performance as Frankenstein's creation. And Colin Clive as well, yeah, he's great as his role of Henry Frankenstein. Don't know why they changed his Christian name to Henry, yeah, but there you go, yeah, fantastic movie. This, I say, this was the movie that got me into horror. Frankenstein, 1931. Boris Karloff, who played the monster 3 times. He played him again in The Bride of Frankenstein, and finally in The Son of Frankenstein in the late 30s, yeah. Well, yeah, oh yeah, this was the movie, guys, that got me into horror, Frankenstein, 1931. And I've lost count. There you go, guys, there's the features. Lost count of the times I've watched this. Boris Karloff is the perfect Frankenstein monster, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, yeah. So there you go, that's my final in my top 10 movies I like to watch at Halloween is Frankenstein 1931, starring the late great Boris Karloff. Okay, guys, just to recap on my favourites, the all-time top 10 Halloween movies I like to watch. Halloween, obviously. The Wolfman, starring the late great Lon Chaney Jr. Dracula, starring the late great Christopher Lee. Best Dracula movie ever made, in my opinion. Another Hammer classic, guys, The Case of Frankenstein, starring the late great Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee playing the monster. Anthology movie, my all-time favourites, Tales from the Crypt. Love watching that at Christmas as well, but especially the part with the creepy Santa Claus that stands out. Conjuring, great supernatural movie. The Haunting, the original movie adaptation from Shirley Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House, great haunted house movie. Psycho, what can I say, absolute classic. The Omen, my favourite demonic Satan movie, demonic possession movie. And last but by no means least, Frankenstein, starring the late great Boris Karloff. Okay, guys, well that's me top 10 of my favourite Halloween movies, the movies I most like to watch around Halloween and that, you know. Yeah, yeah, really proud of that collection, guys. Some real classics there. Yeah, yeah, they were the best. You know, you can't beat the classics and that. You know, yeah, fantastic. What's your favourite Halloween movies? What, you know, what you like to watch over the Halloween period? Leave your comments down below. Have you got any of these movies? What you think of them? Yeah, yeah. Leave your comments below, guys. Yeah, always like to hear from your fellow YouTubers. Always reply to every single one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all part of the YouTube etiquette, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this video then, guys, at the top 10 Halloween movies, you know, what I like to watch over the Halloween period. Yeah, some great ones there, yeah. And, yeah, all going well. I'll see you all, talk to you all in the next video. Stay safe.